We'll call this meeting to order. 5:33. Everybody can stand with pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do a roll call.
Crossen.
Here.
Maasch. Here. Hiner. Flis-Schneider. Boots.
Here.
Hughes. Here. Knoblock. Here. That's one.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the February 11th, 2026 minutes as presented.
A second.
What's it? Short. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public time, anybody for public time? We have new business, we have a site plan review for Bruce Johnson Plumbing, 2005 Bowers Road. What was your first name for everybody?
Andrew.
Andrews. Do you have anything to say, or would you like to make a statement?
I'm just asking for a rezoning so I can relocate my business here.
You're asking for site plan, right?
Correct.
Yeah, site plan, not rezoning. Does anybody on the commission have any comments?
Want to handle review?
Yes, did a review and everything required by the ordinance for submission of a site plan is on the plans. The checklist is included, and the zoning is come to, so it is properly zoned. It's a matter, he's looking at in addition to an existing building that's already there, and that's shown on the plans. Like I say, all the information required, and now it's just a matter of this board determining that the information provided is sufficient. The information that's required to be submitted is here, but it's up to you to decide if that's sufficient to meet the ordinance. The quantity of bushes, trees, parking spaces, and whatever else. You guys can have customers probably going out of there, or what's it
Just employee.
just employed? Okay. All right. So we'll need to designate, I mean, you've shown 7, so we need to designate one of those as a barrier for the handicap, ADA compliant parking space. Even though it's just employees, employee. So, this would be the most. This proposed addition, you're gonna have an entrance in the front,
Yes,
south side.
yes.
Now, and there's an existing one where it shows concrete to the existing building.
Yes.
And so there's 2 ways in, basically. So either end parking space. I take that, we take that back. I think it's there, it's not labeled. The parking space is not labeled. It's, yeah, the one with the wide sidewalk, the 13-foot wide.
Yes, the first.
First one on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not labeled.
You just did very well.
Anybody have a public comment about the site plan?
So it's like you get out there as you do, right?
Correct. The only thing that's currently there is
Here's on.
the barn and their electricity, no other improvements.
Okay. I see you guys have a sign out front, you can have a sign out front there probably too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody like to make a motion, or we have more discussion on the site plan?
I make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't even hear you, okay, up here. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it.
As presented.
Yes.
Crossen,
Yes.
Maasch,
Yes.
Hiner, yes. Schneider, yes. Oates,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Knoblock absent. Motion carries.
Is there anything for the applicant that he needs to do at this point, or is he good to go?
It was all for, no, he's good. He's all set.
Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the consideration of the zoning ordinance amendment permitting dragway facilities as a special land use allowed in the C2 zoning district. This is not about a particular parcel or operator, but is a generic amendment to the zoning ordinance. I will now open up the public hearing at this time. 543. And just to note of a few house rules and remind everyone, there's a 3-minute maximum for comments. Do not speak unless you are called upon. Please refrain from clapping, booing comments made by others. And please do not repeat comments made by others. It suffices that someone else makes the same comment or point to just mention that you agree with the person that spoke. All right, do we have anybody for? Yep, Leslie.
Leslie Katz, I do live in Mayfield Township. I don't live near the Lapeer International Dragway, and for many years did not even know it existed in our township. When I began to hear bits and pieces of complaints about its operation, I set out to educate myself about the issues. I visited the area on the weekend during active hours of operation. I communicated with residents in the area as well as race enthusiasts who use the track. I attended at least one court hearing and reviewed official court judgments. It appears to me that the proposed zoning ordinance language attempts to address the concerns of the residents while allowing the dragway to successfully operate. However, one specific issue does not seem to be addressed, that of the noise level at and around the dragway. One resident who could not be in attendance today asked me to express, yes, I understand the cars make noise, but the music they blast is very vulgar and louder than when Ed Bakula owned it, and the hours all night was ridiculous. The music is like it's right on my front porch. I assume she lives near there. She just asked me to include that. Being a musician, I am somewhat knowledgeable about acoustics. There are effective ways to reduce the volume of sound emanating from the track as well as the distance any such sound would travel. I urge this commission to further study the issue of noise control and to include the required sound mitigation measures in this ordinance revision. I also seem to recall that when improvements were made to the property, there was some assurance that the shipping containers would be painted so as not to be an eyesore. I could be wrong on that, but that's what my memory serves. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, before you call in anyone else, just to be clear, this is not about A2B or the property. Now, I understand there's probably not another dragway operating in the township, but if this body were to approve what's before you tonight, no one can operate tomorrow. There has to be another application and a request that's made, and it comes back to this body. And so, you know, if you're talking about the number of shrubs or trees or anything else, none of that is addressed in this ordinance.
I'm Ron Joe Stockton in Mayfield Township. I know you're saying it don't apply to any pieces of property, but there's only one piece of property that is located in Mayfield Township that you're kind of trying to put this into. I think it should be denied because I agree with Leslie, like the containers and stuff, nothing has been enforced with that piece of property. A lot of rules have been broken and nothing's enforced. So I think that should be denied.
My name is Sue Joseph. I'm in Mayfield Township. I object to the amendment for the following reasons. Such an amendment would be inconsistent with the township zoning map and plan in ag residential district. The dragway property is surrounded by R1 parcels. It would create a zone inconsistent use. The rezoning does not promote public health or the general welfare of the residents. And the rezoning would result in more traffic. The amendment would result in more traffic, noise, dust, and disturbances in the area, which will interrupt the enjoyable use of our Also too, I'd like to ask, I did make some copies for the planning commission, and I would like to bring them up, if that's okay. And do I give them to you, Jayme?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes. I think I've got 7 of them.
Were you finished?
Yes, thank you, Julie.
All right, yeah, Tom Newman, I'm a resident of Mayfield, I live on King Road, so I am here in the drag strip. I'm glad we're bringing an ordinance, to have as, the C2 zoning, allow drag racing. It's not going anywhere. But I think this is a good opportunity to make the track more beneficial to the community by having the hours for drag racing end at 10 o'clock. Basically, everybody who's there's nothing open in the community after that hour, so they would just drive away. If we could do something to reduce the hours back to a time where, like a restaurant or some other entertainment venue could capture some of the attractiveness of the drag strip. So not only, reduce the hours maybe to 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and provide, some other compensation like that if we're gonna have a drag strip. But the main point I want to say is that, the drag strip is supposedly an attraction. It brings obviously all these people out. And then, once the racing is over, they basically just sleep, right? Because everything's closed. So I would propose, if I had the opportunity, which I do, that when we do this amendment here, that we reduce the hours somewhat so that it's not drag racing well into the night, well past dark. So my 3 minutes is enough. The other thing I wanted to say is that it always seems like the loudest cars are going at night, like at 10 o'clock. Or not 10 o'clock, but past 9 o'clock. And if the hours can't be reduced, perhaps something could be put in the ordinance to say, that's the time when, I don't know, like it's not like the crazy, loudest cars going right at the end of nights. Thank you.
Anybody else? And
Saying this isn't about the dragway that's there is a little ludicrous. This is all because of the dragway. Yeah, it's the zoning ordinance. Yeah, it could be somewhere else, but it's not. It's about the Lapeer International Planning. My name is Jayme Crossen. I live about a half a mile away from this place that I'm not supposed to talk about. I've owned my property for over 50 years. I bought it, I moved there. There was a dragway. It was owned by a gentleman who ran a few hours on a Sunday and Saturday afternoons. We did not consider at that time, when we bought, a negative to our property. So here we are with another attempt to expand the use of a C2 property, which this is not. This property of the dragway is zoned agricultural residential right now. So why this is coming up now related to a C2 property is questionable. My concern is the significant expansion of the uses. Number of days going from 2 to 3, increasing the hours, especially, as the other gentleman said, going until 10 o'clock at night. I'm questioning whether our township has a noise ordinance that would allow that. Allowing a brand new park, which is vehicle testing during the week. So now that opens up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Allowing other activities that will just add to what I consider the commotion in the neighborhood. With these proposals, the dragway would start to move closer and closer to their ultimate goal, which we've seen over the years, which is operating every day, lots of hours, and lots of activities. All the activities requested will only add more traffic, more noise, more air pollution, more light pollution to this neighborhood. You talk all you want about, but we're not talking about this particular place. as a homeowner in an agricultural residential zone area, I strongly object to the planning commission even considering these. I'm not sure why this township seems to bend over backwards to give favor to a relatively new, single new business and leaves many of the lifelong residents of this area continually fighting for our rights. So, I just have one question.
Okay, your time is up, Jan.
I have one question for you.
Jan, your time is up.
I'm gonna ask a question.
But your 3 minutes is up.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna continue.
Next.
So I have just one question.
Next.
For each
Sit
of
down,
them, you.
Next.
Sit down.
If
Sit
it
down,
makes
please.
sense to you,
Jan,
would
Loser
you
Police
be
Department.
willing to do
Sir.
this? My guess is no.
Jan, your 3 minutes is up.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well then don't stop.
Sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
I also live, everyone lives right on the same road as the drive strip. I've also lived here more than 50 years. I was at the drive strip the day that it opened. Yes, and I object to what she said, that it only operated on Saturday and Sunday. That's false. Several of the other things that she said are inaccurate, and I just object to not going into the record because it's not true.
Thank you. Did you have anything else?
She also, one of the things she said I want to cover is that it would allow it to operate every day. That's not what he's going to do. Several of the things she said are inaccurate. That's all I want that to record.
Thank you.
I've got something. We've been here probably.
and your name, please?
Oh, Roseanne.
And I don't know, did we get your name?
Robert Lapeer.
Thank you. Sorry.
We've been here probably 55 years. I never, ever remember, maybe he was here before we were 55 years old, that it operated more days than on Saturday. It would start at 11 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock it was over. And Sunday was the same. And what about having helicopters and the fireworks? That's another noise thing. And I just object to the township not taking the sides of the residents, the people here. We pay taxes, and we also, I do make the appointment, but our township board is elected. And I just feel that you're totally against the people who live right here. And I live here just up the hill. And, I object to having my life ruined by this organization that should not be here.
Sir,
You or me? Go first. I'm for it. I'm totally
Your
for
name,
it.
please?
My name is Chad Farley. I live in Mayfield Township resident. I'm for it. I'm gonna speak for the 5 neighbors I got right next to me that don't show up to these because they're not complainers, but they're for it too. And I guess I could drag them up here, but they don't want to be bothered by the nonsense. I'm for it. If we got an airport that can run 24/7, 365, that's more of a nuisance than the drag strip, then absolutely, I'm for it. I think a man that owns a business should be able to expand, just like the man with a parking lot. 80 parking spots, it's ridiculous. But just thinking, just sitting here listening to it, a lot of this is stupid. But yeah, he should expand. He should be able to do what he needs to succeed. And if that place builds up bigger, places are going to stay open longer because there's going to be traffic. The problem is our community is of folks that are going to expire in the next 20 years. And when they expire, our kids are screwed because they've set all these rules. And then we got to go back all through this. They don't remember when their kids were my age, 48 years old, is what I am now, and we used to be able to go between Weir Road and Roods Lake, ride dirt bikes or quads. Guess what? All that's taken away by the older generation than you. We don't get to do that no more. Our dads can't go down to the range on a Friday or on a Monday and teach us how to shoot. Why? That all got taken away. It's shame on the old people. I'm sorry. But that's what's happened throughout our community, is it's ruined it for us kids. And my kids growing up, not my grandkids. You know what I mean? Come on, wake up. This is why kids do other crazy stuff.
My name's Russell Young, Mayfield resident, and I have a very unique situation. I share a birthday with the drag strip. July 4th, I'll be 58 years old, and so will the drag strip. Why in the hell are we arguing about something that's been going on for 58 years? We're acting like this is something new. Like people just started racing cars. And I live at the end of Roots Lake at Bowers, on one of the nastiest intersections there is in the county. And that's a drag strip right there. Every night of the week, I listen to them. They hit that corner at Bowers. If I'm not turning right, I don't go that way. We need somewhere where our young people, as the last person said, can go do what they do. Because they're going to do it anyway. At least there they want to be cleaned up with a shovel by some people from the EMS. But it's been there 58 years. If it could run and make some money, I would definitely encourage painting the damn containers. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But it's been stifled ever since it got off the ground. So I'm for it going forward and actually becoming the business they're trying to do.
Thank you. That's it.
My name is Chris Maasch. So we brought up about the 4th of July and fireworks. My family has a tradition of watching 4th of July fireworks. We go to the track. My kids race at the track. You're taking things away from my kids. That's wrong. Our kids, like, we're trained to get off the streets. This is our place to go. And you want to shut it down? How shame on you.
Well, it's a race in front of their house.
The rest of our generations are growing up and trying to make something of themselves. Just come on.
Sir, comments should be directed at your please.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, come on. We're all here. We work hard. We all live in this community. Why should it be taken away from our young kids? What's wrong with it? Can't you people see this? There's a problem with that. You're taking away our rights. This is our right to do this. 4th of July noise ordinance? I'm sorry. That's disgusting. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Magdalena Jones, and I don't understand how a track has been here for 2 years, and these people that are complaining haven't lived here 58 years. Why did they move to buy a track? I don't understand.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Brent Stone. I would just like some clarification on the criteria for approval or disapproval, because anyway, there's so much stuff in public that people worry about shady stuff going on back doors. So what the criteria is for approval or disapproval, and in response to what some people say about trying to be shut down, I disagree with that. I believe it's people don't want more of it. I think there's a huge difference between trying to shut something down and getting a whole lot more of it. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah Warren. This is my 11-year-old. Her favorite place in the summer is to go to that track and race her junior dragster and watch the cars drive. And she just loves beating it. That's her favorite thing. My 13-year-old son, he's gonna learn how to drive a door cart this year. If that opportunity gets taken away from him, that's an experience that he won't get to have. And I don't think it's right.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Nathan Yost. I worked for Lapeer Dragway for a lot of years, probably on and off for about 15. And I worked for Ed Vakula. When I worked for Ed Vakula, we would get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I worked there several nights after 9 o'clock, a lot of nights. And we ran on a Monday if it was a holiday, if it was a following Sunday. You're being lied to. You're listening to lies. That is a lie. She's a liar. This, no, this right here is a very good place. And the man trying to make it happen, he's putting his heart and soul into this place. And you have people like that who are allowed to lie. And you sit there and listen to it. Use your brains. We're smarter than this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Brian Hartzell, Mayfield Township resident. I've worked at the drag strip since 2008. I feel that Mr. Jennings here has been restricted since the beginning. It's going on 6, 7 years now. The man's had a restricted business. They want him to paint the containers. He can't even afford to paint the containers now because he's been milked dry from the lawyers and everything he's had to fight to do to keep this facility alive because of the neighbors coming after it. This ordinance needs to be passed. There's no reason why it can't be. If the airport can function 24/7. I live right in the line of the airport on Lonsberry Drive. Helicopters fly over my house at 11 o'clock at night, jets, whatever. There's no reason why a drag strip can't be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday, regardless. If the airport can be, then the drag strip can be.
Well, we need ordinance on the airport.
Yep.
So I feel the ordinance should be passed. This business should be no longer as restricted as it has been. This man should be able to make some sort of his money back that he's invested in this facility, and he's not made a dollar. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Yes, sir, in the back.
Richard Thompson, I live in Clarkston. I drive like 45 minutes to get to the track in order to make some passes. I believe that, as Ryan has mentioned, the track has been restricted. If this ordinance passes, if the passage of this ordinance helps to allow the track to operate for more days of the week and with reasonable hours, then I say yes.
Hi, my name is John Sarver. I am the CEO of CKWI Radio 76. We are in 74 countries around the world. We follow drag racing. We do high performances of the 60s, 70s, but we also live stream drag strips from anywhere from Canada to Tennessee. We have 2 stops in Mayfield per year when we can. Now, we have a little bit different slant. We bring an economic situation to, I think it's B&Bs over here. My crew, myself, our listeners, our followers would not come here if it wasn't for the drag strip that we're not talking about. You know, I mean, gentlemen, obviously, we followed the story for 3 years. It's been very interesting and very spirited, as you can tell from back here. Now, you guys got it like. There's a lot of drag strips running. No drag strip runs 7 days. None. And not even the big guys. Big guys, some of them run at 2 o'clock. You're talking 10 o'clock. He's already kind of, you got the easy version of the show. The good thing about this track wasn't, when we first came to see it, it wasn't in fabulous repair. Mr. Jennings, yes, did put a whole lot of money into it, and it really did bring people back to a place we wouldn't go. Matter of fact, we do both of our stand-ups at, I guess there's an elementary school right down the corner. When we do our pre-law, we show Mayfield, all the nice little houses, all the nice little country and all that stuff. We wouldn't do it if this drag strip wasn't allowed to happen. And it's that easy. Twice a year, we take Mayfield to around the world, 74 countries, and then it stays there. We put Mayfield in a positive light. So this drag strip doesn't just, we're not here, we're not spending our money on Mayfield. So, thank you, folks. We appreciate for you listening.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Ron Holmes. I don't live here, I'm a bad talker. Anyhow, my friend was killed in high school drag racing. And back then, I wish we'd have had a place to go and Miles run my door car. This summer he did great, 15 years old. And I think if you take that, it could be your grandson dead. Yours, your son, your granddaughter. You know, they're just gonna go out on the street and race. So, yes, Bill and I were talking about painting the containers, but you can't do it if we're not running and putting money in. You know, I don't live here, I live by Flint, but, you know, all I say is just give us a shot. And like I said, it could be your granddaughter, or yours, killed out on the street, or your boy. You know, you don't know. I didn't know, I didn't realize my friend was gonna get killed, but we were stupid, raced down the street, and that's what it cost. So, just something to think about.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Julie DeWitt, I live a mile from the drag strip, and we've been there 30-some years. And there's days where it races, they race, and I have to go to myself, did they race today? Because I've gotten into it, I'll hear it. I think that it's fair, what they're asking for, that it's not over the top. And I remember them having custom tunes on Wednesdays when we moved here. And they had their races on Saturdays and Sundays, and the holidays were there. It's done that way since I moved here. And if we have to listen to cows and grain dryers and everything else, this is where our community is. This is where we chose to live. I feel like if you don't like a drag strip, go.
Do you have anybody else?
Well, I got some, Chris Maasch, I actually work for Bill at the racetrack, I'm taking Brian's spot over. But we love the drag strip. We love the kids, we want to be there for the kids. My wife and I, we bought 7 junior dragsters and we put kids into it for free. If your son or daughter wants to learn how to drive a car, I give you a car and you drive it. Doesn't cost you a damn penny. That's what we're trying to do, is keep the kids involved, keep them off the street, teach them how to drive at a younger age, give them some common sense. That way they're not idiots out on the road when they turn 16 years old and get driver's license. Oh, let's go race our bike. You don't have to, because you got your own drivers. You go on the drag strip. You pull off your steam on Saturday and Sunday. Like, we go to the bar and have a beer. We're blowing off steam at the end of the day. The kids just want the same thing. That's all we want. We just want the drag strip for our kids. That's all we're trying to do.
Is there anybody else?
Gabe Stone, Mayfield resident, I just want on the record that I agree entirely with the Joe Stocks and some other New Arts objections against the drag strip in the expanded zoning ordinance, which to my belief, it doesn't have the correct zoning ordinance to be operating as it currently is. Gentlemen in the back that referred to kids and youth and young people not wanting to be in this community or wanting to be in the community for this. I'm 30 years old, I was born in Mayfield Township. I moved back to Mayfield Township, and I know I could list 3 people by name right now that are my same age that have moved out of the area because of the expansion of the drag strip. Also, it's been noted a couple times here, the airport and the zoning and the noise complaints from the airport compared to the drag strip. I have a very unique situation because I was born and raised exactly property line, 2,760 feet from our family property line to the Mayfield Township Airport property line. I now live exactly 2,520 feet from my property line to the drag strip property line. And there is absolutely no comparison to the level of noise put off by the airport, of which a place I've lived for over 25 years, compared to the drag strip, a place that I grew up in, that's a family home that I moved back to, that I'm considering moving out of the community because of the unbelievable amount of noise produced from the drag strip. That is all.
How much you want for your house?
How much you want for your house? 275.
Is there anybody else who has a comment?
You get more money in taxes than free sales.
All right. So I now close the public comment. It is 6:12. Now we'll discuss as a commission. All right, does anybody have any comment up here?
Yeah, I get where everybody's at with it, you know, like, if we never would have changed anything or added the pool still on it, it would still be there. I don't believe this would have been going there, you know? And then as a board, I think I feel like our duty is to go to the township, you know? I mean, it's tough. I live by the airport, my mother and father all live across the street from Cayman. That's where I live at on Hayes Road is only the second house. My wife's a lifelong Mayfield Township resident. Look at her, whatever it is now, K-Max or Wellness. Look at that place now. And I'm sure I'm sure that the noise is I can hear it from my house. I can hear the train from my house, but we can't stop the train either. You know, I do hear. I mean, I get the noise thing, but at the end, I don't know. It's a tough one for everybody involved.
Well, I would say that we all know the choices we make. You stay in your house, complain about noise, you game, or you just move. Those are your choices. But don't make everybody else miserable just because you're miserable.
Amen.
Just for the planning commission members, not only for this meeting, but any others, this is the time for us to talk. When you talk and you are addressing specific members, you are inviting a response, whether you intend to or not. So you should be speaking to your commissioners, please. Yeah.
Anybody else, or should we entertain a motion?
I'll make the motion to recommend approval of the amendment for the township board for consideration.
Do a roll call. And Chuck is ready.
Crossen?
Yes.
Maasch?
Yes.
Hiner? Yes. Schneider? Absent. Boots?
Yes. Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
And Knoblock's absent. We have 5 yes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Any other business? No? I'll make a motion to adjourn. 6:16.
Second.
Yeah.